Good morning to you guys. It's about 10:30. Just want to talk about a couple articles in the newspaper. The first one I want to talk about is entitled "The State of Emergency in Virginia and the White Nationalist March." This is apparently where the city council wants to remove the Robert E. Lee statue. Now, I went through the video and I watched it. There's a car that goes right down the middle of this alleyway, this narrow street. And one person got critically injured and the other one person, I think, died. Now, from what I understand, there was a blog and there was somebody blogged it and said that what happened is the police allowed these two tensions merge into one. So the police are, of course they can't control everything, but apparently this occurred. And anyways, I went through the video, and from what I see, it's all about, this Luciferian agenda. Is to cause chaos and fear. Okay, people? The city council has done this to strike anger within the community. Okay? This is why I tell all the TIs, don't get involved with these activists, because these people are activists, they're not citizens. That's the first thing you want to know. Okay? This is all being done by the Masons. Okay? It's to create really heavy tension within everybody, okay, because they feed off of that bioenergy, okay? I went through the video and I saw a lot of soulless people. I saw a lot of coding, Nike equals inky. Yeah. So what they're doing is they're going after the heart, Robert E. Lee, the heart of America, your Civil War, because they want to, erase history. It's part of their reptilian agenda. This whole thing, Then the video continues on at nighttime where there's chanting and saying, "We won't go." And at the very, very, very end of the video, you see them all in a circular pattern holding their torches, okay? The circle equals the snaking in its tail, okay? I have already talked about this. This is Freemasonic stuff, okay? All right? Plain and simple. So I'm telling you right now that this whole thing that happened in Virginia is being concocted, okay? By the Masonic order, They're all gang stalkers. Think of it as that way. They're all paid to be this way. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is this case where Salaam versus Mitchell. This is the CIA interrogating the interrogators, where there's a lawsuit against these psychologists about torture, like waterboarding. There are three gentlemen. They're filing lawsuits against James Mitchell, I believe Jose Rodriguez, and Bruce Jessen. Now, Bruce Jessen and James Mitchell, I believe they are contractors for the CIA, but Jose Rodriguez is the CIA director, I believe, of counterterrorism. They worked for him. And so what this interview was about was how they were sleep deprived, and they were, it will not exceed 11 days at a time. Well, 11 days at a time is, Masonic. Okay? That's the MK Ultra, sleep deprivation with all these weapons, psychotronic weapons. Okay, that falls under MK Ultra, what they were doing to these gentlemen. Okay, waterboarding. Mitchell said stuff like, "Oh yeah, it sucks, it's stressing and stuff." And Bruce Jessen was just saying, "Oh, it's just uncomfortable for them." Okay, these people, these gentlemen that were doing this, these psychiatrists or whatever, they're just sick. Anyways, then this was interesting. James Mitchell said that one of the tortures was to stir up in your inner ear, and then he goes with his finger in a circular pattern. It goes a whirligig thing in a force. So what he's saying, like, it would hurt your inner ear and cause you probably vertigo. Okay. Well, we all know with these high-pitched sounds that are coming down, the quote-unquote, the acoustics, when they come down and hit you, that's a high-pitched noise in your ear. And yes, it can hurt you. So he just described exactly what happened in Cuba, the acoustic sound. Okay? Now, some of the things that were key in this interview was James Mitchell said, like, he said his CIA director said something like, you know, to the point where James Mitchell was like saying, well, we don't want to do this anymore, you know? And the CIA director says, well, if you're not going to continue this, then you lost your spying. Now that was recorded at 6:23 on the video, 6:23. The CIA director told him this, and this is what James Mitchell relays. He says, well, if you're not going to continue doing this, you've lost your spying. This is what he was told by the CIA director. And then Bruce Jessen said, they kept telling me a nuclear bomb will be exploded in the United States, and because I told them to stop, I lost my nerve, and it would be my fault if I didn't continue on with the torturing. Okay? Because these two gentlemen eventually told the CIA director, hey, we can't do this anymore. Okay? And so Bruce Jessen said, like, okay, well, this is what they told me. They kept telling me that a nuclear bomb will be exploding in the U.S., and because I told them to stop, I lost my nerve, and it would be my fault if I didn't continue on with the torture. So James Mitchell says he was told that he was a pussy, and that there's going to be another attack. Okay, now this was key. The video stopped at 1611. Now if you invert that, that's another 9/11. That's code. That's Freemasonic. Okay, and then he goes. He was told, okay, you're a pussy. There's going to be another attack, and it's going to be on your hands. If you don't follow through with this, then we'll send someone else who can. Okay? This was recorded on January 16, 2016. And he says this at the video length of 16:11:16, which is code for 9/11. Okay? Another 9/11, which is code for the second cup. Okay? So, you know, this whole thing is, you know, I don't know. I don't know if this lawsuit is real or not. It has major coding behind it. But I do want to bring it up that these men are talking about how they were interrogated. And these CIA contractors are telling, you know, that, you know, they didn't want to continue on with it. And they were kind of like nonchalant about the torture. But then they turn around and say, well, we want to stop. And then the CIA director says, well, you know, if you don't follow through with this, then we'll send someone else who can. You know. Then some of the questions were like, what are the long-term effects, you know? And the CIA director says he kind of never did consider that. And these two other contractors, they deny the long-term effects of these torture techniques. So they asked one of the detainees, and he says that he continually has nightmares during his sleep, anxiety, isolation. He doesn't like to be around people. And then at the end of the video, the lady that did the story, she said that these are contractors. They were paid $81 million, and there is a case against these two gentlemen, James Mitchell and what's the other guy's name? Oh, Bruce Jessen, and also I believe Jose Rodriguez. I believe they worked underneath him. And they, you know, it's all about waterboarding, sleep deprivation, all sorts of techniques, you know. which all falls under the MK Ultra, which is, derived by the CIA. So, yeah, you have to kind of like go through the news and break through it. It's all Masonic. It's all controlled. So, but I don't know if this is a real case or not. I hope it is. I hope that these detainees do prove in a court of law that the CIA is behind all this torture. I hope it works. I don't know. Because sometimes I feel like, who controls the media? Like I've said in other videos. It's them, the Masons, and your reptilian bloodline. So, like I said, all TIs, just, be neutral about things. They're starting these little mini wars out there to cause problems. That's what they're doing. This whole thing in Virginia, that's them. That's the Freemasonic Order people. That's your gang stalkers. That's what I want to point out. That's their little picture. Okay? So, but they are causing problems. They're going after, the whole thing in Virginia is like an attack on the heart of America, I mean, look at all the battles we went through. The Civil War was a really bloody war. And you know what? It really wasn't over slavery. It was over taxes that Congress passed. That's the truth. Really and truly did not go over. It wasn't about slavery. That was just the facade. It was over a tax that Congress passed because the Southern people were getting hit hard because their economy was based on agriculture. And the Southern rich people were getting taxed from these imports. It was an import tax fee that Congress passed. Okay? And the banking was done in the North. And the Southern people were relying on agriculture. Okay? And the rich Southerns relied on things to be imported. Well, Congress passed this import tax. And, it's all about money, people. Always. It's all about money. Okay? So I told you, there's a division line. There's the TIs versus the AI system, which is the gang stalkers and the hive mind. Okay? You have to wake up to this. And there is a war with frequency because the frequency is being used on crowds. Okay? This voice of God technology can stir up a crowd in a matter of moments. Because it affects your DNA. Because the AI system runs on your emotions, people. That's how they get their energy. I've told you. They measure the chi level. Because we're made of light, color, and sound, people. So, these people are activists. They're gang stalkers. They're paid by Soros or whoever, these private corporations, to cause problems within the communities. They're not citizens, they're activists. Okay? Over and out.